God of the universe reveals himself to us in certain ways for us in Scripture. But in Scripture it says, particularly in 2 Timothy 3, that God has revealed through the sacred writings. He's revealed himself through the sacred writings. He's given through those sacred writings that which we need to be wise unto
ourselves what is right and wrong, good and beautiful. Is that pursuit? I read something on this topic that made me think of a story. When Katie and I were in college, we had the opportunity to study in South Africa. And the program that we were one of the most memorable excursions for me. It was a visit to a lion park. It was actually kind of a failed visit to a lion park. And if you're wondering what is a lion park, you just take the two words that I said, lion and park. Have it. This was an enclosed area about the size of a football field that had kind of hanging out. And the idea was you come up to a fence. It was a fence. It was just a fence behind it. It was high, but it was just a fence. Up to the fence, and they let you in, and then you drive your vehicle to the lion park and just kind of see what happens. Sounds amazing, right? Well, we got there, and the people who scheduled this particular charged with making sure that they came home at the saw what was actually there, and it apparently wasn't in accordance with not doing this. Like, this is not okay. Now, we took two vans to get there, and there were about 20 or so college students in those vans. Got out to go talk to the people who ran the park and started negotiating, trying to figure out how do we get our money back. And we were all bored, and we got out of the vans and walked up to the fence because behind the fence was lions, and it's just like 20 yards away. And so we're like just kind of looking at them. Guys who worked at the park that saw us approaching the fence, and they're like, "You want to see them closer?" Absolutely. So they took sticks and started hitting the fence, and so the lions came like right up to the fence, and it was a fence, so you could stick your fingers through it. And we were college students who were like, "Yes, this is." They're pacing back and forth, and we're sticking our fingers through the fence and like poking lions. It was amazing and terrifying. Right? It was a combination of both of those things. Right? We're encountering these incredible lions and lionesses, kings and on the other side of a fence. And I think it's an experience that I'm always going to remember. It was amazing, and it was insane. But while I was there, I couldn't help but notice that there was off about these lions. That they were beautiful animals, but they were either pensive, pacing back and forth, probably looking at us like, or they were lethargic, looking as though they had been drugged. Well, apparently there is a term to describe what I saw in the lions that day, and that term is zoochosis. Exactly, mystery is a combination of two words. Tame animals like lions, when they are in captivity, psychological distress. They do things like pace aimlessly, or they up. And according to aren't the way that they're supposed to be in these animals. Well, one might be able to understand this in a ridiculous place like what I described. This condition appears to be despite the fact that every physical need is catered to. They have space. They have scientifically formulated diets. They are watched over by people who know more about lions than the lions know about. Not where they're supposed to be. Things roaming in African savannah. Survive or smell hot dogs. Right? Things are. Writer and professor named Alan Noble, who in his book, You Are Not Your Own, compares our predicament in the modern West, where we're told over and over again that we are our own, and that we belong to ourselves. He compares our predicament conception of self, according to Noble, functions very much. We all inhabit environments that are misaligned with our intrinsic human nature. Ourselves. Noble comments, only humans are capable of creating. Tell that something is clearly not right with our current environment, with the current way of thinking about pursuing happiness, essentially equating it with self-determination based on the unsettling number of people struggling with health issues like anxiety. Brooks, in his book, How to Know a Person, notes how depression rates have been surging. Between 1999 and 2019, American suicide rates increased by 33%. Between 2009 and 2019, the percentage of teens by 2021 it had shot up to 40%. He later writes that according to the General Social Survey of Americans who put themselves in the lowest happiness category shot up by more than live in a society in which we can turn off any established, agreed upon, are freer than we've ever been. All options are available to us. We've had fewer societal restraints placed on us. Noble comments. We've created a society based on the assumption that we are our own and belong to ourselves. Fundamentally wrong. Just as a lion that was made without restraint, found exhilarating at first. Unlike any other creature, don't simply need food, water, and shelter. We need some way to know when we are failing or succeeding. Life is simply too difficult and lack a purpose. But the burden of creating one on our own is or might you be overly committed to a sense of what are you looking to in order to define that when we consider our insecurities? Been insecure about. What might that be for you? Style choices, the types of things you consume, whether it be media, all need meaning. Worth now considering what is the whole notion of fearing God can be confusing because the command is not Bible. Right? We see it hundreds of times. Do not fear, do not be afraid, fear not, over and over again. About the fear of the Lord. Well, in the Bible, there is a wrong type of fear, and there is a right. asks, what if this goes wrong? What if I lose everything? What if I don't make it? Is God really going to show up? God is able to deliver us. The second type of fear, the right kind of fear, is what's described in Psalm. Path to wisdom and happiness. The wrong type of fear can be equated with dread, a nervousness around circumstances in our life. Now, awe is something that we talk about a great deal in our culture. I read something a while back in which a writer was bemoaning our misuse of the word awesome. I find it hard to think of a word that is as unmoored from its roots as awesome. The word literally means, and literally being another word that we must use. Used correctly, the word literally means extremely impressive or daunting, inspiring great admiration, apprehension, or fear. That's what the word actually means. I have a sandwich. I did yesterday. I had a great fried chicken sandwich. I'll refrain from calling it awesome right now, but it was great. But our flippancy with that word, I think, just goes to show how little we think about or experience a true awe. There are certain things about which we can't help but feel. My father-in-law, Daniel, has a ministry and functions as a pastor to pastors who are in difficult. And he's called on to speak around the world. And at the beginning of this year, he spoke at a conference. While he was there, he went to this tiger enclosure. This apparently is my animals sermon. We talked about lions, now tigers, bears are coming next. Just kidding, no bears. Anyway, so this tiger enclosure is a place where you don't just get to drive through. Them. Well, the Hahn family has a group text, and when Daniel is on these trips, we often get updates from him. And typically, these updates are about his ministry, missionaries God is doing around the world. Got a few of those updates while he was on this trip, and then out of nowhere, we get a picture of him sitting with a tiger, like with his hands on the tiger. Like kind of like a man and his dog type picture. Like it just looked like it was his pet for the day. And then we get another picture, and that was followed by a video. And it was in the video that you got a sense of how insane the whole thing was. So Daniel sitting there, calmly petting this tiger, and then out of nowhere, the tiger gives a roar because he's a tiger. But the tiger was just letting everyone know, like, hey guys, I'm a tiger. And I can eat everyone in here if I want. But seeing this animal next to someone, right, seeing its power and its beauty, and knowing that it could do whatever it wanted to whom. That's just from a video. I can't imagine what it is. What actually sit next to one. And this feeling of awe at greatness, at power, at majesty, the awareness that we are in the presence of someone that made tigers as well as every. I think Psalm 8 does a great job of describing what the command to fear God is. Psalm opens with these words. How magnificent is your name throughout the earth. You have covered the heavens with your majesty. He goes on to describe where his magnificence can be observed. I observe your heavens, the work of your fingers. Magnify his name to find. And this prompts the psalmist to ask, what is a human being? Son of man that you look after. But when we take time how small we really are. As they actually are is a necessary component of law and the reality is asserted by our text, and it's also supported by logical research. Last year, a psychology professor at UC Berkeley named Dacher Keltner wrote a book entitled Awe, the new how it can transform your life. In it, he writes, I have taught happiness to hundreds of thousands of people around the world. About 20 years into teaching happiness, I have an answer. Find awe. The rest of the psalm goes on to describe what it produces in us. The connection to Psalm 111 is significant. Psalm 111 is all about God and his attributes. And Psalm 112 goes on to describe the person who fears the Lord. There are some close connections back to back. So Psalm 111, 3 to 4. In Psalm 111, we read this. All that he does is splendid and majestic. His righteousness endures. Cause his wondrous works to be remembered. The Lord is gracious. Psalm 112, verses 3 and 4. Describing the person who fears the Lord. Wealth and riches are in his house, and his darkness for the upright. He is gracious. Psalm 111, the Lord, it is the Lord's. Psalm 112, it is the God's. Has God's own moral traits. As we look to him with awe and reverence, we become more and more righteous. My righteousness does not endure forever. Sure, I'm gracious and compassionate sometimes, but I'm certainly not gracious and compassionate all of the time. I certainly am not gracious and compassionate all of the time. Stop and remember. Apart from him, this psalm would be reason for despair. Because it gives a description of the godly person that no one could possibly live up to. It describes Jesus perfectly. Our example. He is that. He doesn't just show us the way, he is. Perfectly embodied every positive attribute we see. As the Apostle Paul describes in 2 Corinthians 5:21, he made the one who did not know sin to be sin for us, that in him we might become the righteousness of Christ. Our righteousness does endure forever. Actually, his righteousness. As we look to him with awe, with reverence, Paul writes elsewhere in the same letter, we all with unveiled faces are looking as in a mirror, are being transformed. How do we become happy? The heavens and the earth, who has the power to wipe us out in an instant, but instead condescends, lies in their place. Allow him to fill us. By his Spirit, we strive to do as he did. 2 Corinthians 5:14-15. Love of Christ compels us. That one died for all, and therefore all God, and to delight in his. Meditate on the goodness. Immerse yourself in his word so that you might learn. Are you feeling depressed? Are you struggling? Father, this morning we pray that you would help us. Happiness, real and lasting joy. Father, forgive us for the many ways in which we try to carve out our own path to find meaning. Coming to the Lord's table. God, I want us to take some time to our hearts through the practice of confession. In this room, and we do it as part of a larger tradition. It's something that Christians have done. Not because we're going to. By these ancient words from the bishop. from me the heart of stone and give me a heart to love and adore you, a heart to delight in you. God's word. And you are familiar by the Spirit. You can hear them refreshing. For God loved the world in this way. That everyone who believes in him will not He invites you now to salvation's meal is for you. Back and keep hearing you are welcome in this place. The night when Jesus was betrayed, he took the bread and after giving thanks, he broke it. After supper, saying, "This cup is the new covenant which is sealed in my blood." Often as we eat this bread and
Laid for your faith in solid word. What more can he say than to you he had said? To you for refuge to Jesus have fled. Fear not, if you'll be not dismayed, for I am thy God, and will still give thee aid. I'll strengthen thee, help thee, and cause thee to stand, upheld by my rod, never tempted. When through fiery trials thy pathway shall lie, my grace all sufficient shall be thy side. Flame shall not hurt thee, I only design thy dross to consume, and thy gold to refine. The soul Jesus hath lived for repose. I will not desert to his foes. That soul all hell should endeavor to shake, I'll never forsake. That soul
I invite you to stand with us as we sing our closing song.
I love you, Lord. Only mercy never all my days. I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing. Yes, oh God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. I have lived as of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. We sing your goodness. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down and surrendered now, I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down and surrendered now, I give you. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. My life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God.
And what was a joy to be in worship with you as we begin our brand new series on the book of Galatians. Every verse of the whole book in this book, all the way through the fall. Bible, so you got something to take. Above and beyond all that we ask or think, power that works in us. All generations, forever.
Welcome back then in a few minutes.